Fate Grand Order just had its 7th anniversary, and with it came a handful of permanent gameplay changes. This video is going to quickly go over some of those changes. If you are watching this on release, however, you do have temporary access to this event where you can get a permanent free 5-star craft essence. I recommend Kaleidoscope if you don't already have it. If you do, Black Grail would be the next one that I would tell you to take. However, as mentioned, the main purpose of this video is to cover the permanent gameplay changes to the game system themselves. So let's get into that. The major change here is actually the change to the way that cards are played and the effects that they give when they are played. First up is the improvements made to quick cards. Previously, leading off a attack chain with a quick card simply buffed the crit star generation of the follow-up cards. This was very rarely advisable unless the follow-up cards were other quick cards with high hit counts. This has been changed to a much more beneficial effect that is worth pursuing more often than it used to be. Now when you lead off an attack chain with a quick card, the follow-up cards as well as the quick card itself that is leading off the chain will receive 20% extra chance to crit just for being in a chain with a quick card that is played first. So as you can see here, in the example photo, you have 20, 80, 20, and then if you lead off with a quick card, those percentages are just automatically buffed to 40, 100, 40 for the first 3 cards. So the critical chance just goes up by a flat 20% regardless of what else is going on. So this is really beneficial if you have a 80% crit that you really want on an arts card or buster card or whatever. You can lead off that chain with a quick card, which will buff it by 20% and give you a guaranteed crit on that card, which you can then place in the 2nd or 3rd slots as needed to get that guaranteed crit that you are after. Secondarily, if you play 3 quick cards in the same attack chain for a full quick chain, that used to give you a flat 10 extra crit stars on the next turn. That now gives you 20 extra crit stars on the next turn, while also doing what we just described and increasing the critical star rate of command cards and the crit rate of cards that are played this same turn by 20%. So you can see here again in the example photo, they play 3 quick cards, they get 20 extra flat stars to be used on the next turn. Probably the most significant change that was made is the addition of this thing called the Mighty Chain. The Mighty Chain is any time that you play 3 cards, 1 of each type. So play a quick, an art, and a buster card, all in the same hand. And one of them can be a Noble Phantasm, or all 3 of them could be Noble Phantasms, that's fine as well. Just have to play 1 card of each type in the same set of 3 that you're playing. And what that does is it will apply the lead-off effects of each chain type to the full chain. So this is not the arts chain, for instance, where you play 3 arts cards and get 20% Noble Phantasm charge automatically. It's rather the type of chain that you get when you play an arts card and then 2 quick cards, and you get extra bonus Noble Phantasm generation on the 2 follow-up quick cards because it was an arts card leading off. Or when you play a buster card first to get extra damage on 2 follow-up quick or arts cards, for instance. If you can play a chain, again, with 1 of each type, you'll get those lead-off bonuses as if all 3 types of cards are applying their lead-off bonuses to the full chain. And to be very clear, the Mighty Chains are not affected by the order of the command cards. The Mighty Chain does not care what order you play these cards in, so even though in the examples you'll always see them listed as Quick Arts Buster, you do not have to play them in that order. Just play 1 of each type and you'll get the bonuses. This also applies to Brave Chains. If you can apply a Mighty Chain to a Brave Chain, all 3 of the bonuses will be applied to the extra attack as well, which makes the extra attack very powerful potentially, because it's getting bonus damage, bonus NP generation, and bonus crit star generation from having the full effects of the Mighty Chain applied to it, as well as to all of the previous cards. Mighty Chains are very rarely the best thing to do in a turn if you can play a full Buster, Art, or Quick Chain, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. but a Mighty Chain is a really good way to have a really good turn even if you can't play a full Buster Chain, for instance, even if you can't play a full Arts Chain. It'll give you benefits of all three types of chains that you can play. So if you just need damage, or you just need Arts cards, or you just need crit stars or something, it's still better to play the full Buster Arts or Quick Chain. But if you can't make any of those, the Mighty Chain becomes a really good all-rounded, well-rounded, all-around solid option that you can play on a lot of turns. So give them some consideration. Go try it out next time you're playing. I think you'll find that it's a pretty effective way to play, to try to consistently hit Mighty Chains when you're not able to hit full Arts Buster or Quick Chains. That covers the additions or changes to the battle system, but there are a couple of other changes as well made to the reward structures in the game. Significantly, there was a bonus added to Ascensions, where now, as you ascend servants, you will receive item rewards just for ascending them. So for each Ascension 1, 2, and 3 that you get, you'll get pure prisms, which can be exchanged in Da Vinci's shop for any type of Ascension or skill up item. And then for the final Ascension, you'll either get 3 Saint Quartz, or if it's a free 4-star servant that was handed out in an event, you'll get a rare prism for ascending them up to final Ascension. This does apply even if you burned the servant after you fully ascended them, for instance. Although you can only receive these rewards from one servant. So if you got a free 4-star servant from an event, leveled them up all the way, ascended them all the way, burned them, if you then got them again on the rerun, you would not receive these bonuses, if I'm reading this correctly. And this is huge. This is another addition to this added incentive to ascend servants, which is that for every 5 servants that you ascend, you will now get 1 crystallized lore. This is a repeatable mission in the home screen where you go to turn in your dailies, that you can now do up to 150 servants. So it's 30 total potential crystallized lore that you can get just for ascending as many servants as you can. This is huge because previously the only way to get these things really was to play limited time events, and you could usually get 1 for finishing it and like 1 more if you could do the challenge quest, and now you can just have 30 of them if you just ascend all of your servants. It's a really good way to go get some crystallized lore on like an early account or something where, hey, I'm not able to play events, or I'm not able to do challenge quests, but I still have skills that I want to level up to 10 for farming teams or what have you. That's now much easier to do because you can just get these crystallized lore just from ascending your servants up. In addition, some Saint Quartz rewards were added for various rank up quest, interlude completion rates, and you can see the crystallized lore for every 5 servants up to 150 here as well. The daily missions have also been enhanced. Those will now give you an exchange ticket for every one that you complete. So you usually get one of these every time you log in, and you can choose 1 out of 3 rotating items that are available to you. You can now get that one for logging in, and also up to 3 more every day just for completing 3 quests, whatever those 3 quests may be. So that means that you can potentially get 4 every day, and then exchange those for whatever item is needed the most by you from the daily or monthly exchange. So this really makes grinding out those usually low rarity items, those bones, proof of heroes, etc., that you need like a billion of, well, now you can potentially get up to 4 per day just for doing some ember farming and logging in. So this makes item acquisition much, much easier. And to go along with that, the schedule for Ember and Training Ground quests have been adjusted. These are now a little bit friendlier as well. Previously, if you needed, for example, Lancer Embers, and you missed it on Monday, you just had to wait around until the next time it showed up. Well, they are changing it to where now, on Saturday and Sunday, all Ember Gathering and Training Ground quests will be available that whole day. So if you are, again, in desperate need of Lancer Embers, for instance, you could farm them on Monday, and then again on Thursday, and then again on Saturday, and then again on Sunday. So this makes farming pieces, monuments, skill gems, class-specific embers all much, much easier, because you're going to have more opportunities per week where you can go and get them. So this is really good. And if you are the kind of person who likes 4-star servants, the drop rate for 4-star servants is being given a little bit of an increase in certain conditions. As you can see here, this has gone from 1 4-star servant 2.1% to now, 2.1%, previously 1.5%, excuse me. I do know how to read. 2 pickup 4-star servants, each servant 1.2%, so that has remained unchanged. And then to get 3 rate up or pick up 4-star servants has gone from 0.7 to now 0.8%. So this has been improved a little bit. Your odds of getting 4 stars has been made a little bit easier. This was something that was somewhat changed a little while ago, and as 5 stars actually got a little bit easier to summon with some changes they made to the summoning formula, 4 stars actually got harder to acquire than 5 stars in certain instances. So now that this has been changed, this hopefully brings back 4-star servants roughly to be easier to acquire than they have been for the last little while. And then the main quest AP costs for pretty much the entire story up to and through Part 2, Chapter 6 have been halved now. So this should make it much easier for you to progress in the main story and not be as AP gated. You'll only be difficulty gated now, but AP will be less of an issue. A fairly minor change is that support servants who aren't friends with you or who you are following, previously you were not able to use their Noble Phantasm. That would be locked if you went into battle with them. That is no longer the case. You can just use their Noble Phantasm regularly. So this makes it easier for players who are newer to the game and maybe don't have any friends. They don't need to worry about that as much anymore, because now they can just take anybody from the support list, whether they're friends or not, and use those servants' Noble Phantasms to help them progress through the early parts of the game. So I think this is a really good change. And that should be pretty much the gamut of significant changes that were made to the gameplay of Fate Grand Order in this 7th anniversary update. Some of these are pretty significant changes, and it's going to make a lot of older videos about this game a little bit outdated, because that's kind of how it goes with this game, is that things change all the time, and then strategies and things that people used to do to work around those limitations become outmoded when the limitations get removed. So if you see people spreading information that is outdated about any of this stuff, do feel free to kindly correct them and say, oh, here's how it works now. Let me know if you guys have any questions about any of this stuff. I will leave a link to these patch notes in the description of the video so you can go through it yourself if you like. There's other stuff to be aware of if you're watching this video on release that I am not covering here, that you will definitely want to be aware of as far as what's going on in the game and what you can get from the game if you are playing right now. So thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.